This is the newest version of the program, which isn't really quite ready for distribution yet, but I thought I would put out a video on it so that if you were interested, you could take a look at it and give me your comments by email if you would like, and if you'd like to start with it and beta test it, that would be helpful. I've tested it pretty thoroughly, but there's always somebody can press buttons that I don't think about. Anyway, what this version has in it that has been requested by a couple clubs. I don't know how many would be actually needing it. But if you have on your range, maybe you have 15 bays that you can use. And so say you set up your main match on bays 1 through 6, but then you set up your a warm-up match on 7 through 10. And if that was the case, then when you printed score sheets out for your 4-stage warm-up, they would come out 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the way it used to be. Now if you do that and you set the program up, it will print out 7, 8, 9, and 10, and all reports will show stage 7, 8, 9, and 10. It'll show basically the stages that you use. And it can be intermixed. You can use the main match with 1 through 6, or you can, and then you can have other matches using different stages and they will come out correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let's go through and I'll kind of give you an idea of how to set this up, and then you can either let me know if you want to try it or not. Okay, so we go into the match setup, and of course we're not going to clear anything. And we've got main match is 6 stages, warm-up match is 4 stages, and wild bunch is 6. We have a PM warm-up, but I don't have anything registered, so we'll just be using these 3. Now if you look at the add stage names, and we'll call up the main match, you can see that the stages used, I've got a bunch of them checked. But as long as this is not checked down here, as long as it says use different stages is checked, this will not be in effect. It'll still come out with your stages 1 through 6. But if we go ahead and look at say we look at our warm-up stages, we'll see that I have them set as 7, 8, 9, and 10, but now I do check this. So that means I want to use these 4 stages. And if we look at the wild bunch, we'll kind of see the same thing. I'm using 2, 3, and 4, and 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9, and 10, or 7, 8, and 9. So I've got my 6 stages here. And once again, this mark down here is checked. That's the big part of the setup that has to be done, and if you do it correctly, it works fine. So now let's take a look at our what will happen if you print your score sheets out. If you go into your match setup and you print out your score sheets, they will come out in the order and with the stage numbers on them that you have marked. So in the wild bunch you would get sheets for 2, 3, 4, and then 7, 8, and 9. And if you printed sheets out for your warm-up, you would get 7, 8, 9, and 10. And your reports will show also that. So if we go in and also your scoring, if we look at our scoring, say we score by shooter, you'll see that the main match has 1 through 6, just like normal. And if we look at our warm-up match, you're going to see that they show only 7 through 10. So once again, that's the only stages that'll show, the only stage you can put times into. And if we look at the wild bunch, you're going to see kind of the same thing. It kind of splits up the different stages, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9. Now, when you are, let's see here, let's go in, and, in our posse scoring, let's show our posse scoring, which basically shows the same thing. Let's go into our warm-up. Now, you're going to have a sheet in front of you, and it's going to say stage 7, so you'll know where to start. So if you hit in stage 7, posse 1, you're going to see that you get stage 7. Now, if you go to the next stage, it's going to bring up 8, 9, 10, and then it's going to go back to 7. So it just rotates around those 7 stages, or those 4 stages that you're doing. The same thing if you're going to do the while bunch. It'll kind of work the same way. So we know we're starting. You've got a sheet that says stage 2, posse 1, and once again you can do 2, and then you got 3, you got 4, you got 7, 8, and 9. So it kind of works. That's how basically that portion of it works. Now, if you're going to do reports, we'll do the main match report. And again, it shows just the normal reports, stages 1 through 6. But if we run the match final for the warm-up match, it's going to show only 7 through 10. And it still gives there. It just blanks out the rest of them. It's, you know, it's too, so that's going to, and of course if you do the while bunch, it's going to be basically doing the same thing. Now on the while bunch, you have the option of showing the stage times or not. A lot of times they don't like to in while bunch, they don't like to show the times because they can be kind of misleading in some situations. But on this case, I'll just say yes to this, and you'll see that we've got stage 1 is missing, stage 5 and 6 are missing, and stage 10 is missing. So those are the ones, and there it sits. Now, one of the things you'll notice in while bunch, and that is that while bunch is done in 2 separate ways. We have category, points by category. That means that you're going to get only the points are going to be computed by just those people in your category. But the overall match total is done overall by all people. And how it works is you take, when you set up your match, you set up your while bunch match, you have the option over in the up here of how many, when this is unchecked, you don't see anything, but if you check that, it gives you the option, how many points are you going to count per shot. And so normal is 10, and of course then you need to set up the number of shots on a stage, and that goes through this way. So how it works is the top shooter in the fastest shooter on the stage gets 10 times the number of shots on that stage. So if there's 36 shots on the stage, the top shooter is going to get 360 points. The second highest shooter takes a percentage of that. So he gets a percentage of the top shooter. So if the top shooter is 50 seconds, the next highest shooter is 52 seconds. The percentage of the difference in that is, say, 98%. I don't know. But anyway, it would take 98% of the 360 points. And that's what the second person would get. And down through the line, everybody is percentaged on the top shooter. So that's how it works. So you're going to have different scores for your match final, because the match final is overall. So that's everybody. So if we take a look at, we'll just take a look at this guy here. I think that's Bootstrap. Yeah, okay. He shows a total of 1831 3108. So just remember that figure, 1831. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. Okay, so now if we do the category report for the Wild Bunch, let's see if we find Bootstrap, which I think is down here in the Modern. He's got, in his category, he's got 1878. So the category points are different from the main match, because he in the category he's being categorized by those in his category, and by the main match by the match final he's being categorized by everybody. So that's basically kind of how Wild Bunch is scored in that sense. The other thing you have is of course you have your match final, or you're with extras if you wanted to hand that out or let people see. This shows them their total with all their misses and procedurals and everything else. It's kind of a long report because it stretches everything out. The other thing is I've added some new things to the clean match report. No, nobody got a clean match. Let's go to the Wild Bunch. I know there's somebody there. So if we look at the Wild Bunch report, you'll see I've added some info. I've added their category, their match finish, their category finish, and what state they're from. So it's kind of just a little more information. The other thing we set up is stage statistics. If you look at stage statistics, now you have the option of both doing by category and by posse. So if you look at the posse report, let's do the main match. We're going to see, you can tell by looking at the posses how they ran. If you have a posse marshal set up, it's going to show you who the posse marshal is. So you can kind of look at the average times, the fastest times, see, misses, procedurals. It can give you some ideas. We had 8 misses on stage 3, but you can kind of look at them and see. Now remember, this is the way this runs. Now if we were to so then you can, if you go to the end, it calculates them all, your overall stats. So those are just other statistics that you can look at. Also, you have, I don't know how many, but in your big matches you have your top cowboy, cowgirl shooters. You can combine the two. So if you're running, where cowboys and cowgirls are shooting together, you combine the two. And we'll do the main match, and we'll see, okay, we're going to want, it says show how many places with alternates do you want to show. We're going to show 16, and we don't need that. And we're going to do an alpha list, and we're going to say, in the end, we're going to say 10 of the main top match, and we'll put 6 for the alternates. So what we've done is we've kind of brought up, this is an alphabetic list, so the people don't know where they finished. If you want, if they care, I mean, if you haven't given out the awards or anything, this shows where the people, their alphabetic order, and this kind of shows with the order there. You could post this, excuse me, and then this shows the alternates. And it's the same way with when you do the cowboys and cowgirls separately. They will go in and do it on a separate basis, one way, to the other. Let me think. What else is there that we might want to show in here? I don't think there's too much else in that. Basically, it's more has to do with that setting up of your match registration of your match when you go in to set up the new the new stage results and things like that. If, like I said again, if you would be interested in looking at this. Oh, the other thing that I think we might want to mention, let's take a look at our wait list. Okay, so if we go in, I'm going to say we're full, and I'm going to register myself with a couple people. and I want to shoot with that, and I'm gonna shoot with Daisy Dill D, and okay. So if by chance you're full and you can add this to your wait list, and it comes up and says your shooter has been added to the wait list. Now, if say you have an opening, you go to your wait list. There's the people. They will be in the order that you put them in. So you always, if you've got a wait list with 50 people in it, you're not going to go and pick number 20 to start. So say you're going to do posse 1, or the first one on the list. If we check this, it's going to say you can remove a person from the wait list, or you can add the shooter to the wait list. So let's add the shooter to the wait list, or to the registration. It brings it up. It has everything there, who we wanted to shoot with, everything. All you need to do is put in your amount, your payment types, and your amount paid. You can also go in, and if if you've added something into this, like Saturday night or extra extra, oh, I know what we did. That's not set up properly. Sorry about that. It's not set up with the correct information. But anyway, you could add people to the list if you wanted to. Basically, that's how you would add persons on the wait list. It comes in handy when you have a match that you have. I mean, I have one club right now that has, they have a limit of 150, and already they got like 190 shooters. So they got 40 some shooters on their wait list, whether they'll ever get to it or not. I'm going to remove me from this. Okay. All right. Well, that takes care of most of the new stuff on there. The other one, the wait list was not new, but I've added where you can put your posse with in there, and they will come forward when you register them. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the new version. Like I said, if you are interested in getting the new version to try, or if you think you would like to see something different, please send me an email and I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. Okay, thanks for watching.